All right. We're live. We're back. We're trying to figure everything out. We should be live on YouTube next week, probably around. We're going to try to do Fridays live if we can in the mornings, or we're going to do weekends. We'll figure it out. But we're going to start going live on YouTube. So good to see you guys. Good to hear you guys. Been a rough week for both of us, mainly me. But we're sitting here. We got some like we talked about in the pod beforehand. We're gonna run you guys through our Eastern Conference, Western Conference playoff predictions, like the standings, and then playing teams. So we'll go from there. So I'm gonna let big old Brad over there start his off with his Eastern Conference.
I like being big old Brad, but I'm not sure about how I feel like being old. Coaching those
Yeah.
basketball kids are already calling me Unk, and I'm like, man, like I am an Unk, bro.
Yeah, you are.
All right, so playoff teams do for the East. East is going to be weak this year. It's going to be super weak this year, and so there's going to be some teams that make the playoffs or the play-ins that just really have no business being playoff teams other years. But it's the East is every decent team for the most part is in the West this year. There's a couple guys in the East that are solid, but so for locks, I've got my top 6 that are going to be locks for the playoffs this year on the East side. We got the Knicks, Magic, Hawks, Pistons, Cavs, and the Bucks, which could be a play-in team. We'll see, but I think the East is weak enough that they're going to be a lock for a top 6 this year.
Gotcha. I'm kind of in the same boat. I have the Cavs. I have the Magic. I have the Knicks. I threw the Pacers in there because I think they're still pretty good. Bucks and Hawks.
Okay, wait, so you didn't have the Pistons? You don't have the Pistons as a lock?
I do not have the Pistons as a lock.
Crazy. That's a hot take.
No, that's a hot take. I know. Pistons. So on that, we'll just hop on my playing teams before we go to yours. My playing teams are going to be the Pistons, the Raptors, the Sixers, and then the Heat.
Okay. We got some similar playing teams. Pistons, I think they're a lock, especially in a weak East. They were a playoff team last year. Cade Cunningham's only going to get better. He's going to be an MVP candidate this year. But play-ins, I have the Pacers as well. I think the Pacers are going to be better than what most people think. I don't think they're going to be great, but I do think they compete in an East week. Or I'm sorry, a weak East. Man, tongue twister there. So I got Pacers, I got Sixers, I got Heat, and I got the Bulls. That's the different one we got. I got
Chicago Bulls in there. Okay. I like that. The Bulls did come end of the season. They were making a good push, so I do like that. I think they come in pretty high at the beginning of the season. So I do like that.
Yeah, I think so. Especially with Josh Giddey, man. The way he was playing last year, bring him and Matas Buzelis as well. I think they're going to be in the East. I think they got a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you too. Like with the East being super weak, I think that's a conversation almost every year. I'm just going to point something out for both of us. We don't have the Celtics at all in any of our lists.
Celtics, dude, they might surprise some people in the East. I've actually got a hot take about the Celtics later, but they obviously dismantled their roster and they don't have Jason Tatum. They still got a couple studs on there, but just there's not enough, especially in the paint. They don't have nearly enough size.
They lost a lot of people. They lost Kristaps. They lost Al Horford. They lost Drew. Yeah. They lost a lot of guys. So it's going to be. I think they could be a play-in team. But I think my personal opinion, the playing teams I have in the playing games are a lot better overall than the Celtics are.
Yeah, well, especially because I think Boston's going to approach this year as a gap year. Like they sold off all that salary, all that talent. They know this year is going to be about acquiring assets. Basically do whatever you can to be competitive next year. And you got Jason Tatum back. So it wouldn't surprise me if they really just threw in the towel this year. You see a lot of turf toe injury, stuff like injuries you've never heard of kind of thing to keep star players out. I think they'll start to bag the season a little bit just to maximize their draft picks. And
what if they come out hot though? What if they come out hot and they're like the Warriors and they won like 20 games in a row?
It's possible, but the thing is, you got to look at it too. Are you actually going to compete? Like, if you're actually going to compete for a legitimate shot at a championship, great. Because in Boston, it's title or bust, especially with Brad Stevens, that roster they have. And so, if you're not competing for a title, throw in the towel. You got a ton of draft picks, dude. Especially if they can tank enough to get like a top 3, a top 5 pick in the draft, sling that for somebody else. There's gonna be a star player looking to get to Boston next year. Why not just make it an asset?
Yeah, you're not wrong. That kid that plays for BYU was looking really good too. But I think he'll be first overall. But
probably him or one of the Boozer kids.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well. Okay, so let's go Western Conference. Let's get to your top 6 locks for the Western Conference.
So locks, we got Nuggets, of course, Thunder, of course, Wolves again. They were very surprisingly great last year, made it to the Western Conference Finals again. So I got, let's see, Nuggets, Rockets, Thunder, Wolves. I got Lakers as a lock this year. And then Spurs is my other one.
Okay. So mine's a little different. Kind of. I got OKC, Nugs, Clips, Lakers, Rockets, and then I have the Warriors in there. I'm a Warriors fan, so I'm going to throw the Warriors in there. I think they're going to be good this year, especially if they all can stay healthy, especially getting Kuminga and getting all the assets they just got in the offseason. I think they'll be decently good. This is where, again, play-in team. I love Anthony Edwards, but I don't have the Wolves at all making the playoffs this year. I have the Spurs, the Mavericks, I have the Pelicans, and the Trailblazers.
So you watched Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves go to back-to-back Western Conference Finals with very different teams. Anthony Edwards like the main focal point of that. And you think this year they lose all opportunity at postseason to the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. That is a very hot take. I think you're very wrong with that.
We'll see what happens. I think if Zion can stay healthy, like that's a different team right there.
It is a different team. They still don't have enough, though. They still don't have enough. And their rookies have not looked good in preseason, but of course it's preseason. Who knows?
Yeah.
So play-in this year, I do have the Warriors in the play-in. I'm not as high on the Warriors as you are this year. I think that they are going to disappoint a lot of people. I got the Grizzlies. I got the Clippers. I got the Mavs.
Okay. Way different beside the Mavericks and our play-in teams.
Very different, dude. Very different there.
The Western Conference is hard, though. Like, is all the play-in teams, I think, like, the Mavericks could be a 3 seed in the East. The Clippers, because the Clippers were in your play-in team, right? Or playing, yeah, they could be a 3 or 4 seed in the East. The Warriors could be a 3 or 4 seed in the East. So it's hard. The West is very stacked.
The West is stacked, dude. Realistically, in my opinion, I don't think the Pelicans have a chance at making a play-in this year in the West. And so, personally, besides them and the Suns, I think you have 13 other teams that could realistically fight for a postseason spot this year. Kings are on the edge there too, but so maybe 12, but still 12 for 8 spots. That's crazy.
Yeah, I just don't trust. I don't trust the Kings, and I don't trust the Suns. We have Bradley Beal 2.0 with Devin Booker, and I don't trust the Suns at all.
Yeah, Suns won't do anything this year. They're a dumpster fire, absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah, true. You're paying how much money for both guards? Like, I don't know, 200 million or something like that. Crazy amount of money.
Like each, dude. They're paying, I don't know, Booker's on some huge like $400 million extension or something like that. Jalen Green, I think, ended up getting a $200 million extension or 160 or something. Like it's.
Yeah.
You're paying a bunch of money for a bunch of empty buckets is what you're doing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, not wrong. All right. Well, that concludes that. I want to hear if you guys have any, probably with my list, if you guys have any, slack to give me or, throw some heat towards me for my list, that's fine. I want to hear you guys' point of view of, who you would pick, who would you cut out of there, who would you add? So going from that, we're going to go to future awards. Is that what we're going to kind of go towards? Is the future awards? We kind of have predictions in regards to that.
Yep.
Who's your MVP?
My MVP this year is a guy who should have won MVP a couple of times already in his career. But he, for whatever reason, just the media hates him. I don't think you can hate him anymore because he's in LA. Luka Doncic is going to take home his first MVP this year.
I have the same person as my MVP.
Yeah, Luka Doncic. He's going to take home his first, well-desered, overdue. He's going to take home his first this year. I really believe that.
When you lose like 25, 30 pounds in the offseason, you're looking good. I'm going to give it to him. He got traded last year. He was kind of injured, showed good. Like that last half of the season when he played was just outstanding. I think he's going to win MVP this, especially like I heard LeBron's out for a while, the first couple of games or the first month of games. That's Luka's team. So I think he's going to ball out.
Yeah, I think we see a different Luka this year. It's one of those offseason stories. You hear about the same offseason stories for the most part every year. There's Luka and Zion losing weight. There's James Harden put on way too much weight. It happened. I saw some report again that he's out of shape again, which happens every offseason. Ben Simmons highlight reels. Like there's stuff that happens every offseason that you just like. Hoodie Melo was one of those towards the end of his career. You just can't buy into the hype sometimes with that. I am all in on the Luka Doncic losing weight.
Me too.
I am all in.
Me too. All right, defensive player. Who do you got?
This is a gimme. If you pick anyone besides Wemby, you're wrong. Like it's obviously Wembanyama.
I also picked Wembanyama.
Yeah, that's an easy one, dude. There's a
Yeah.
rumor I saw, who knows how true it is, but obviously he spent the whole offseason like training with monks and whatever else. And so they say it might have something to do with that. But he grew 2 inches. Like he's 7'7" now.
Yeah.
I mean, he
crazy.
blocks 4 shots a game the way it is. Like if you pick anyone, if Wembanyama can stay healthy for a full season, he's obviously defensive player of the year.
I was torn between Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert, but I had to go with Wembanyama. So
Don't, dude. Rudy has 4 too many defensive player of the year awards. He has too many, and one of them was too many, but he is a 4-time winner. It's Wemby's award to lose. As long as he stays healthy, he'll win every single one for the next 10 years.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, that takes us to 6-man.
Yeah, 6th man of the year. I got Ty Jerome in Memphis.
Hi, Jerome. Okay. I have Anthony Simmons. I can't say his first name.
Anthony Simmons. Yeah, that's a good pick. It's a good pick.
I-
It'll depend if he stays healthy
Yes.
or not stays healthy, but if he starts or not is where they put him.
Yeah, and that's what we were going to say. There's an asterisk on this 6-man because we don't know what's going to happen with starting lineups, where they're going to be positioned at. So it's kind of an asterisk on these award on the just the 6-man, right? So, but they both come off the bench. That's 2 good takes there.
Yeah, I like Ty Jerome. He was great in Cleveland. Probably should have won 6th man of the year in Cleveland. But the only caveat with him and the asterisk there is going to be if John Morant can stay healthy or stay unsuspended from games. So as long as he's playing, Ty Jerome comes off the bench. If not, of course, that kind of changes it there. But I think he's pretty solid off the bench.
Nope, I agree with you. We got coach of the year.
Coach of the year. I got Jamal Mosley from the Orlando Magic.
Okay. Nice. I have Kenny Atkinson for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'll tell you why at the end of it during my hot takes. So that's why I have him in there.
All right. That's a safe pick. I got Jamal Mosley because I think the Magic are about to really do something in the East this year. Very weak East. Paolo's going to be healthy. Franz is going to be healthy. They brought in Desmond Bane. I really think they have a chance to do something this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's actually a really solid pick. All right. Rookie of the year.
This is also a gimme. You can't pick anyone besides Cooper Flag. It's got to be Cooper.
See, this is where I had to go with the Utah boy, the rookie in the Utah. I had to go with Ace Bailey.
Do you think Ace Bailey's got Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flag?
I don't know. The thing that I'm going to argue with, and I think Cooper Flag is going to be outstanding. I think the ball moves through Ace Bailey more in Utah than it does with Cooper in Dallas. With Dallas has so many mouths to feed versus Utah. So I think Ace's numbers are going to be a lot higher.
I would agree with you on that. I think he will. I think he has a chance to have more gaudy statistics, so probably some more points, rebounds, a lot more turnovers, probably shooting percentage may or may not be good. But I agree. Utah is not trying to win games this year. They're going to let Ace Bailey do his thing. They're going to let the young guys develop, which is going to be great. My thing that I'll argue with you on, I'm not against the hot take against Cooper Flag, but the media's already decided it's Cooper Flag. If he stays healthy, and I'm a LeBron guy, but LeBron James probably shouldn't have won Rookie of the Year over Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the media decided, and how do you not give it to him? There's so much hype to Cooper Flag. If he doesn't get anything even decent this year, and Dallas is even sniffing the playoffs, because the Jazz won't.
No,
it would be really hard pressed for them to vote on anybody else, unless Ace Bailey scores 30 a game and the Jazz are a 6 seed. You know what I mean? Like, he does something astronomical. I'm on board with that. But
if somehow the Jazz sneak in as a play-in team with Ace leading the way, I don't think I could see him potentially taking it. But the reason why, again, Utah guy, I had to go with him. Just I knew he'd be different. I knew I'd be different answer than yours, so I had to throw it in there.
I like it. I don't dislike the take. I think Ace Bailey is actually very underrated, especially through the draft process and things. He's been great in preseason. I don't hate that take. I just don't think the media will give it to anyone besides Cooper, unless he just shits the bed. He's terrible this year somehow.
Yeah. Okay, and then we both decided skip clutch player of the year, just because it's hard to figure out who's going to do that this year. We could probably do the midseason, kind of figure out who we think is going to be like top 3 clutch players of the year, kind of make a segment out of that one. But that takes us to most improved.
Yep.
And who do you got on that?
Most improved, I talked about him before. I think he's going to have a really solid year this year in Indiana. Andrew Nembhard.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I have Danny, can't say his last name.
Avija?
Avija, yes.
He's solid. That's a good pick, dude. I almost picked him. He was on my list. I just think he kind of had a breakout at the end of last year to where it'd be tough to, I guess, top even what he was doing towards the end of last year.
That's fair. I mean, I like this play again. I can't say his last name because I'm a white boy from Montana, so it's hard for me to say names that aren't just 3 syllables and 2 words. Yeah, I like Denny. I liked how he played a lot here. Won me a lot of parlays, so I had to go with him. He's
solid, dude. Especially if he can be learning from Drew Holiday and Dame Lillard over there in Portland. I think he's in for a good season. I agree with that.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Okay, so that takes us to some hot takes we have for the season. Now these are going to be maybe outlandish, maybe right, maybe completely fucking wrong. Who knows? I will go. I kind of skipped over mine for. I have a hot take in regards to the winners of Eastern Conference, Western Conference, my finals predictions, and the champions this year.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit you with those, and this is going to tie into my head coach because I think the Cavs win the Eastern Conference. I think OKC wins the Western Conference, and it's Cleveland, OKC, and I think Cleveland wins the finals.
Oh, you got Cleveland not only going to the finals, you have them beating OKC.
Yes.
You know, it's not on my list of hot takes, but my hot take, I'll give you back to that, is I don't think we'll see a champion coming from the East this year at all, regardless. Like, I just don't think it's happening at all. It's a West team. I don't know which West team per se, but it's a West team.
That's fair. I don't know. I like Cleveland. I like Donovan Mitchell. I think he's a good player. I think Cleveland's a good team. I just think they rebound from last year against the Pacers. Pacers were on an unreal run last year. So
yeah, I don't know what kind of devil magic they were doing, but it ran out finally when he crushed his Achilles. So
yeah, it did. All right, hit me with a couple of your hot takes.
So a hot take I have is we'll go back to Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg won't reach expectations yet, right? So not this year. And my biggest hot take on that is I think he's a generational talent. I think he does a lot of things incredibly well, a ton of hype. That team is just so big, and they don't have a point guard. Their only 2 guards on the active roster really is D'Lo and Klay Thompson, which neither one of them are fantastic guards. You know, Klay Thompson's like a great 2 guard, but that's not a ball handler guy you want to set up your offense. When your top point guard is D'Lo, that means Cooper Flagg's going to get a lot of run at point guard, right? And so Dallas might throw in the towel this year and be like, let's just see what we got in Cooper run point, see if we can do something here. And so I just don't think we'll see the best of Cooper Flagg this year.
Yeah, no, okay. So how does that contradict your rookie of the year?
No, I still think he wins rookie of the year. I just don't think – I think people's expectations of Cooper Flagg is to come in and play like a rookie LeBron, a rookie Melo, someone like that that's going to come in and just dominate, playing their position and just dominate that position super well right off the bat. You know, he's going to be playing – I think they're going to play a lot of point guard, you know, which is going to be great. I think he has a skill set to where he can do it. It's just not his natural position. And playing with some grown men in the NBA is different than playing in college, different playing in high school, where he's obviously better than everybody else. So I think he still wins rookie of the year. I just don't think we'll see the best of Cooper Flagg. It'll be a year or 2 until he plays his natural position that we see him actually flourish.
Okay. I like that. Give me another one.
Another hot take I have is LeBron is not going to play enough games to qualify for any awards. / the Lakers are just going to try to coast through the regular season as much as they can and be as healthy as possible for the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see that. That's
what I think. I think this is the final of the year that we see LeBron accept father time and say, great, I don't need another all-NBA team. I don't need to be considered for MVP. He's like, let's just get to playoffs. I'll be fully healthy, and let's go just make a run for 16 games, see if we can go get a title out of this.
I like it. I went with hot takes just for – I'm going to list some players I think they're going to make their first all-NBA team. So I'll start with the first time making an all NBA first team. I think Anthony Edwards will make his first one. Offensively.
Who?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think Cade Cunningham will make his first all NBA first team as well.
So you got Anthony Edwards making all NBA first team, but not making the playoffs.
Correct, because I think that team is booty cheeks outside of him.
They went to the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't get you sometimes, man. I just I love the take. I don't understand the playoff take. I think that's a hotter take than Anthony Edwards making first All NBA.
That's fair. That's fair. But if the season ends and I'm right, it's going to be a different story.
It will be a different story. So listen, if you got Cade and Anthony Edwards making first all team at guards, that means that you don't have Steph Curry up there. You don't have SGA in there. Interesting. Okay. So you think SGA is going to have that might be a hot take right there. You think SGA is not going to perform the same level?
I think he's got a down season. I think, again, everyone was like the whole debate, at free throw merge, that kind of stuff. I think maybe teams play him differently this year, and or referees let them play through the whistle kind of thing more.
I could see that. Okay.
And I love Curry, but unless Curry has some ungodly season, like he'll make like a second or third team, like he has in the last 3-4 years. But I don't see him making the first team.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think more so specific, like SGA is a tough one to keep out of the first team after the run he had last year, which I agree. He's not my favorite player. I think he is, with all due respect, a little overrated. But to keep him off the first team after the year he just had is kind of interesting, But not a bad take. Not a bad take. I wouldn't say that. And so on your note of talking about Steph Curry not making, maybe making a second or third there, one of my hot takes this year is I think we will finally see the passing of the torch from guys like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, finally accepting they're not the best three players in the NBA anymore. And we're going to see that passing of the torch to the younger guys and the next generation.
Okay. So more like they're going to be accepting, like you said, father time and really nursing their bodies for that playoff push.
I think so. I don't think Steph Curry has that luxury. KD does in Houston. LeBron does in LA because he's got Luka. The rest of the team definitely isn't fantastic, but the Warriors run through Curry. So he's not going to have that luxury to coast through games, or coast through the regular season. But I think this is a year where we finally realize some of these OGs are they're no longer the top three guys in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. I agree with you. That's a good take too. Honestly, I don't think that's even a hot take. I think it's a good take.
Well, it had to happen eventually, because this might have been a hot take 3 years ago or even 6, but it's if guys just keep playing at all NBA levels, I think this is finally the year that they just don't play that level anymore. Like
you're seeing KD put up 20 points, very letting those young guys shine.
As they should at this point in their career. They're all pushing 40, or in LeBron's case, over 40. But you should rely on these younger guys. You've done this. You've got 20 years of miles on your body. Rely on the young guys. But again, the Warriors don't have who they have. Kuminga and Pods.
Kuminga and Pods. Oh shit. They have this other rookie. I don't know who they drafted. I guess they're liking him in practice right now in the preseason. But yeah, they have Kuminga and Pods, which they really haven't passed the torch to Kuminga. They've kind of just pushed him to the side. Right. But Curry might. That if Kuminga comes out this year and plays how he did that last series when Curry went out, different story.
I agree. And so, but I guess my point to that is that they should rely on the younger guys and the team around them. They've earned that spot in their career at this point that they shouldn't have to be the guy anymore.
Yeah, that's fair, honestly. So I have, again, some more guys making all NBA teams. I have all NBA defensive teams for the first time. I have Chet Holmgren. And I'm not saying either of these guys can make it. I have Jalen Williams making a second or third team though. And then I have Victor.
Of course.
That one's not a hot take. That one's just a rebuttal just in case Chet doesn't make it kind of thing. So I get one of them right at least.
One or the other, so I got a 50-50 chance of being right there.
Exactly.
I get it. I think I don't think it's a bad take. I think those are good takes. The one thing with Wemby, which kind of made me think about not having him as my defensive player of the year, is they got to keep him healthy. He's got to play enough games to qualify. It's 65 games, and if it wasn't for his deep vein thrombosis that he had last year, it'd be fine. But that's a pretty interesting injury to have. Yeah, and it's kind of unpredictable from my understanding.
That's fair. You got any more hot takes?
I got a couple. Let's see. I think a hot take, maybe not a hot take based off how the offseason's gone, but I think we will see Giannis request a trade this year.
Yeah, I think I can see that. Yeah.
midseason before the trade deadline, I think we see Giannis officially requesting a trade. I think we will see him publicly asked out of Milwaukee.
And that will be the downfall of Milwaukee.
It will be. I mean, part of the downfall was one, trading away their whole championship team for what? Like nothing. And then the guy they traded for, Dame Lillard, they just bought him out and stretched that out to sign Miles Turner. Like they just How do you go from winning a championship 3 years ago to just dismantling everything and pissing off your superstar? Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Teams make dumb decisions, honestly. It's like the kind of same thing about like the Warriors like trading away Andrew Wiggins for Jimmy Butler. I mean, like I like Jimmy Butler, but like I think Andrew Wiggins fit that team a lot better.
That's hard to argue because I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe they were better, like significantly better with Jimmy. I believe so. I could be wrong on that, but no. My last hot take really, it might not be a hot take in the East this year. I think the Magic will be a top two seed in the East.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll get past Cleveland. I don't know if they'll upsert them for that, but I do think they'll be a top two. If nothing else, they'll be a second seed.
I like that. I like that big time. All right. Well, that brings us. That brings us to a take that we like to do. It's the airball take.
Of course.
Do you got anything for us on that one? We got to
Let's lead it off. What do you got?
This is going to be a little bit. It might be a little too personal, so like cover your ears if you get offended really easily. Love this guy. I'm throwing the airball to Stephen Curry and his wife, because I don't know if you saw on social media, but his wife came out and was saying that she never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to be a businesswoman. Stephen never asked her to do any of these things, and she just felt like she just followed Curry through this life and never got to do what she wanted to do in life. So it's an airball.
That is an airball, man.
It's an airball.
You can't be publicly airing out your laundry like that.
And then all things, she aired it out on Call Her Daddy.
Oh, dude.
Come on. So
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I don't want to comment at all on like how she feels about it, but that's just the wrong setting to air out that type of feeling.
It is. That's a in-house husband and wife conversation, not a public conversation.
You know, especially like someone like Curry who does a really good job with his public image of just like kind of being quiet, not saying the wrong things. Like that's a tough one, man. I disagree with doing that. I agree with it's an airball. I just disagree with the way she handled that. I didn't hear that. So that's
That's the news from you. News for you.
I don't like that. You know, kind of on that note of my airball for the week is these NBA players creating fake drama to talk about, like to drop ads. LeBron, then his whole second decision, the decision of all decisions, and then drops a Hennessy ad. Like, I should have known better. I fell for that. So airball of the week goes to me a little bit there too.
Yeah.
But Trae Young did the same thing recently. I can't remember what his ad was for, but he had a whole sit down with one of the hosts of Bleacher Report, TNT Inside the Sports, or whatever it was, Adam Lefkoe. And he sat down and was like, they kind of teased it. And, you know, the teaser was basically Adam Lefkoe being like, you sure you want to do this? And Trae's like, yeah, let's talk about it. And they're like, oh, they're going to talk about him leaving Atlanta, talk about how unhappy he is, blah, blah, blah. And it was an ad for something. And I'm like, dude, I hate that we, including myself, have become so invested in the NBA or these sports that I'm bought in. They say something like that, and I'm like, dude, what's LeBron going to announce? It's his last season. I better go buy some tickets.
We were texting about it. We were texting about it. We were like, man, is he going to retire this year? Is he out? Is he done? And you're like, I'm thinking he's done for the season, man. Like he's done. I was like, I think so too. And at least we weren't that guy who bought those tickets for like $800 and something because they skyrocketed after he made that announcement, and then it was no reason. And he's like suing LeBron now.
Yeah, which good luck to you, dude. But it's that's my airball of the week is like you guys know how much power you have over just people and fans in general. Use it responsibly and don't do this to us, man. My heart rate, my blood pressure, I can't take it. It can't take it.
No, we can't. We can't take it. We're gonna be I agree with you. Well, that ends this pod. We will be hopefully live next week. Just stay up to tune on the socials and like TikTok and Instagram. I'll be posting something on there here soon in regards to maybe our standings, and then just letting you guys know when we'll be live this week, and we'll chit chat about that. But other than that, you guys have a good weekend, and hopefully Atlanta wins tonight against the 49ers.
Yeah, I can't agree with you there, but go Broncos. Let's check it out.
Peace out, guys.